What's up YouTube, Lambdaman here, and welcome back to the Raintime. Now I know I just uploaded one of these yesterday, but I hit the last, I guess, chapter, so to speak. So I'm going to try and finish the entire last chapter tonight. Um, and if it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. But we're going to be going for a long episode this time. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. That's right, I'll wait. Also hit the like button for that piano music. Okay, we should be good now. Just realized my microphone was up. My bad, guys. Colors float past the window panes, drifting along the facade like a fog and on to the distance, and on into the distance where they smash against a car fender, the cheeks of a passing girl, a cypress tree, its needles spreading an emboldening odor. They blow further over the fields, over the water, and over the fields again, where a train goes by. Looks like the Harry Potter train, the Hogwarts Express. And with metric resound, it deeply traverses the plains, while the landscape appears to distort. The mountains arise, a little springbok adorns her blouse. Would you like something with that? A pastry, maybe? Humph. No, I shouldn't, and thank you very much, ma'am. The carriage passes the villages, a graveyard, an old monument shining beautifully in the sun, although its bronze plaque hasn't been maintained in ages, and the hundreds of names have faded away. But the grass has been carefully tended to. Ooh, it's a little flower. I like the little flower. It's a dandelion. The closer I get, the more green carpet transforms into a crawling microcosm, teeming with industrious life. Blades stand upright like shards of glass, like obelisks, huge pillars of a lost civilization that hold up the firmament and protect the hidden world against danger from the skies. Beams of deadly radiation emanating shiftingly from the heavens in shades of white and yellow. The rays scissor and separate to dance around the invisible disk until they regroup on the other side, and the colors shoot off through the cities, across the meadows, along roads, farther, faster, through, along, around, past, into infinite, eternal, all, everything, yes, yes, indeed. Going into that psycho dialogue again. Something stirs. Is it you? Are you dreaming? The landscape fades, a rhombus appears that remains lingering in my field of vision for days on end. Oh, it's a kite. Very gradually impressions arise behind the figure, but the moment I concentrate on them, they start to fade away. The kite remains blurry, blinking at times, my only anchor point to this endless light world. I stare at it for 1,000 breaths until my senses grow weary and it begins to break apart. By the time I've regained my strength, it's gone. I remain silent for a very long time, afraid that I'll damage something irreparably if I exert myself too much. I'm in an absolute stasis, perceiving nothing, experiencing nothing, no pain, no cold, no hunger, only the briefest of thoughts pass through my mind. And due to the total absence of external influences, I drift towards a place devoid of everything. It's the place that I once described, blazing in my room in Rybury, as a realm of golden grain. But now that I've returned, I no longer hear the rustling of fields. This world's empty now. Even the sensations I felt of peace and warmth are missing. This makes me think of, in Super Paper Mario, I think it's the 7th world, where, it's like this samurai shogun world, and there's, all this stuff, and everything's fun, and then the world ends up getting destroyed and it turns into this white blank scape area. That's a little bit of a side note, but we're going to keep moving. But it's undeniably the same place. I remain like this for an eternity, floating in sublime equilibrium until the outside world gradually invades again. It starts as a gentle throbbing, as if there's something stuck somewhere in my bloodstream. I try to ignore it, but it swells, starts to pull, bringing me into a state of unrest. After a while, it's no longer tenable, and I surrender. Paradise escapes me. My body still works. Something stirs for only a second. Are you waking up from your weird little dream you're having here, dude? You're at the library? The faculty building looks exactly like my old school. I neglected my studies for so long now, while there's an exam coming up this week. But time to open up Group Theory 3. Okay, honestly, any class, once you get into the 3, it just starts to get ridiculous. The paradox, though expressing the intention of leading us towards a decentralized representation of praxis, through the formation of a multitude of physical representations opposing a more complex analysis from the point of view of its embedded conception. Is that, in the end, any attempt to complete a dialectical realization of the construct as a construct of its... Well, hold on. Is that, in the end, any attempt to complete a dialectical realization of the construct as a construct in itself constitutes beyondness, considering the totality of the whole is nothing or nonetheless invalid, because the reform of this discussion as a sovereign breach of the principle of representation is essentially opposed to the self-imposed framework of the transcendent increase, barring Boterberg's reservations. It is probably Boterberg himself who is a consequence of this, a protagonist of an unlimited indisputability, arisen from the field of tension between possibility and promise. I don't have to turn the pages or even look at the paper as quickly as the words fly over my retina. It's important to bear in mind here that since there is no one specified foundation for such urbanization, the congruent development of a luminous sphere is context-dependent here. Regardless of any attempt to align it, since the river runs track doesn't assume reduced relativity, taking into account a quantifiable development in relation to the subject in multiple finitudes identical. Also, for those of you who are not understanding a word I'm saying, you're not alone. I am not understanding anything I'm saying. This is a lot of big words. The invigilator is another example. The invigilator has her hair in a butter braid with a chaste cut. Could it be an issue that I'm still studying during an exam? I need to hide my book somewhere, under my chair or in the floor. Almost forgot to put my name on the paper. Cattle is grazing between the islands. I think I could do it. I'd paint so beautiful. Could paint so beautifully. I look around and see sprawling urban landscape or a wasteland. We're going to go with a wasteland. Recently, the images have been lasting longer. In multiple places at the same time, in the Otter, at the Square, my room, the faculty building, at the N723, all simultaneously. I feel the sea breeze and smell my bed, and all the places seem so palpable, so carefully arranged, sorted by location. The impressions are expanding steadily. I'm all over the city, in every street, in Rybury, Abbotsford, in places I've never visited before, but that still feel familiar, as if I've always known what they looked like. I hear words spoken in unknown tongues, and travel through the alien worlds and deserted wastelands. The more accustomed I become to the experiences, the faster they increase in scope. I explore the deepest troughs of the ocean and climb the highest mountains, reaching as far as the moon and the stars, beyond the Milky Way into galaxies of immeasurable size, with the sun as a pinprick in an all-encompassing darkness. So what you're saying is you've somehow become, I guess he got put into spectator mode is what it is, guys. You didn't have to laugh at that joke if you did. Like, it wasn't that good. What is wrong with me? Suddenly, somewhere, a light comes on. Light? Ooh, what do we give this guy? I gave you a dog to look after, William. But what did you do with it? You got him drunk and dragged him along in your inexorable path of destruction. I didn't mean to. I wanted to help him. That poor animal, he had a look in his eyes. I wanted to show him a better world. A better world? What would you know of those matters? I wouldn't. Indeed, you failed. I gave you a dog and a woman to look after. What more could a man want? They're both gone now. I've been feeling so ineffectual lately, as if the world weren't real. I wanted... Nonsense! Look at me, William. Who am I looking at? The cat staring at me from behind the curtain, with a piercing, furious eyes. His short-haired coat is shining like a glass exoskeleton. So hold on, it's a cat? Oh, it's the cat from earlier. Oh, the one that was on... Okay, no. Okay, it's the cat. I didn't want her. This is not the time to apologize. Nothing you say can make it right. And to think how superior you felt. You're a murderer, lower than the dogs. You wanted to be a wolf? Well, forget it. Forget about it. She was so delicate, beautiful like a butterfly on a summer's day. I only touched her once. Butterflies break when you grab for them. ... Some things can't be repaired after they break. I had so much faith in you, William. Maybe it's not over yet, cat. No, get that out of your head. You've had enough. I'm turning off the lights. Go back to sleep. But go think about what you've done. I don't want to hear from you anymore. Just one more thing. That night before it happened, what did you say to me in my dream back then? Sorry, wrong voice, guys. I don't know what you're talking about. While I was sleeping on the floor, you said something to me. Something I agreed with tremendously, but I've forgotten what was it again. Sleeping on the floor. You could have caught a cold, and I don't remember it at all. But it was probably a different cat. And with 2 jumps, he's through the door. It's growing dark around me again, and I prepare for a long night. Okay, so I'm guessing now spectator mode will get turned off. Okay. I'm in the city, but the streets are filled with blind facades as far as the eye can see. The buildings are unfinished, reduced to the simple geometric shapes. As I wander further through the faceless city, the colors begin to fall apart. The distinction between buildings and air disappears. Everything around me morphs into a pure black canvas onto which architecture is drawn in a thin white line. My eyes are heavy, and it's by touch alone that I further explore the strange world. But now that I'm blind, my sense of touch appears to reveal much more detail than I could ever see. The buildings have cold windows with warm plastic frames. As I feel the rough brick walls with my fingers, the dead skin rubs off my hands. The canals are wet, and the cars are hard, and the asphalt of the road feels sticky. Why is it sticky? But the vegetation, it's soft as fabric. The plants and the shrubs feel like woven textile, with yarn that's sometimes fluffy and sometimes smooth. Even the bark of the trees emits a warm, leathery sensation. I wrap myself in the cozy opulence and dwell through the labyrinths of patterns that the canvases show me. It's so comfortable that I drift away. You drift away out of spectator mode? Somewhere, a light comes on. Oh, the cat's back? Cat in the Hat? It's almost funny to imagine what happened. So many a drunken night has gone by, with me ending up in bed safely. The curtains around my bed are a white polyester. I imagine the material sliding along my skin like touching a wet shower curtain with your body. That is a disgusting feeling. Okay. And now my bed linen is made out of white synthetic sheets that I slowly drown in, unable to get out of. The whole world reduced to a spotless sheet of plastic. When you've been sleeping for a very long time, you end up painfully aware that your body leads a life of its own. The tubes in my nose and wrist constantly remind me that I've been treated like an object for weeks, looked after by machines. It must have been quite a show when they scraped me off the tarmac. I hope traffic wasn't held up for too long. Oh! I walked into traffic. Oh! So I was in like some sort of coma. Okay. Got it, got it. I've been trying to convince myself that I've lost my memory. At first it was actually true, but in the meantime so much has returned that I've resorted to fooling myself. At times I wonder if they know what happened, but only thinking about it fills me with panic. And then I steer my mind away from the subject as to not delay my recovery. So I tried to commit suicide then. Well, I guess we can count that as suicide. That would, yeah. A woman is at my bedside, probably a nurse. At first I just sensed a solitary presence hanging in the air every time she'd been. But today I was awake when she visited. I feigned sleep because the confrontation seems too much for me now. I have no idea what she knows. I haven't seen any of my family or friends yet, but that woman keeps returning. She leaves little bits of paper on my bed. I want to study them, but the nurse keeps throwing them away. She has curly black hair and an earthen scent like wet concrete. I think that scent was how I sensed her in my sleep. It's very different from the disinfectant smell that usually hangs in here. She moves her hands along my body when she's sitting here. She's even touched my face once, stroked my stubble. I can make up that I'm the only one who can clarify what happened that morning in January, that she's the mother of the woman in the blue sedan. It seems better for everyone that I stay asleep. The light is hurting my eyes today. The awnings block out the worst of the sun, but in the middle of the day, the curtains turn my bed into a cathedral of light. I threw up. The nurse cleaned it away. Poor guy. He's not very talkative, but neither am I. He told me I'm doing better, though. I'm not too sure myself. I'm sleeping more now than when I just woke up. Next to my bed, there's a little nightstand, which has stuff on it sometimes. There's not much on there today, but there was a cup and an empty flower vase there last week. And there's a copy of the Evening Mirror that's been lying there for ages. I think it's the newspaper I'm in. She visited again this afternoon. With her words and the white curtains, it always feels so sacred around us, as if we're in a private chapel. Time and time again she asks for forgiveness from me for my sin. She thinks I attempted suicide that morning by jumping in front of the light blue car. I wish I could explain to her that I didn't want to die at all, that I wanted to live for once, so I didn't try to commit suicide. Okay, so I just got hit then. It sounds perverse after the fact. The nurse has been trying to keep her away from me. He says she's visiting too much, and that there's nothing she can do. But she's so grateful that her daughter saved me, that I wasn't lost to eternal damnation. Can't she see that I drove her daughter to the exact same act that she's accusing me of? I've been growing tired of this perpetual feeling of guilt. I'm trying to come up with a version of the events in which I'm not so much in the wrong. Dang. Oh. One of the curtains is open today. At first a strange pain came out when I moved, as if I were gardening a plant that had been left out in the rain. I can't look around for too long due to the light, but I've seen an old man lying next to me. It could very well be that there are 4 of us in this room, though I don't have a view of the beds opposite me. And around me I see how everything lives. Whoa. Hello. I don't like you. No, I do not like dolls. Okay. More and more often I'm overcome with the realization that the objects are talking to me. The mug, the phone, the glove dispenser. Okay, we've officially gone insane. The curtains can stare at me for hours on end with fascination in their gaze, as if they know me and wish me the best. But I can hear them murmuring behind my back whenever I'm not looking. Yep, insane. Okay. Last night I dreamt the whole world was alive. I circled the streets, every building, every car, every paving stone that had a human face. They stared after me and spoke among themselves. They all had youthful features and dark brown hair. Because it was her. It is her. She's present in all things around me. I cried when I first realized she's still there and lives on in everything. Since that dream I see it, crystal clear, in the vase, the newspaper, and the ceiling lamp. Her fine features follow me every day. They greet me in the morning, smile at me, discuss my thoughts. But as I mentioned, I've been pondering, how could I make it all a little more bearable before I truly wake up? I think I'm almost there. After all, it must be possible for someone to create so much beauty through a single deed that it atones for all the evil in the world. A small amount of good can banish out all the darkness around it, like how you can sterilize water forever by adding just a single drop of bleach. The world wouldn't be a better place if the accident hadn't happened, because by saving me she has, in 1 second, done more good than all the misery I will ever cause. Saving a life is so much more special than taking one away. The one more than makes up for the other. And the hope she has created absolves me, in a sense, from the grief I've caused everyone. Let me put it differently. This earth over which we roam between windmills, under transmission towers, it's the outskirts of the industry in which our daily lives unfold. Everything carries the dull patina of technical ingenuity. It's durable, built to last a lifetime. Sometimes I feel ashamed to exist among the colossi and the wires that surround me. It is a realm of steel, of iron bolts, and endless concrete. Everything's so well thought out, every millimeter of this earth, that I wonder if I even have any choices to make. Sometimes I'm guided for days by only my most primitive urges, but the world keeps turning and nothing ever changes. It's an insignificant hinterland that all our lives go by, each and every one of them, day in and day out. They're small lives, meaningless in the grand scheme of things. The delay in the morning rush hour that I caused may have been a bigger setback in the end than the life that I took. And the whole device has been tuned so finely that it's actually not strange for a rebellious student to try and see if it can break, so that for once, due to his actions, it may all turn out differently. How reassuring it is to know that some acts have real consequences, that I can do something that stops everything for a moment, that I can touch the lives of other people with my choices, even if it's with devastating results. It's an ugly thought, not a thought I can share with anyone because nobody will understand. However, I draw a lot of courage from it. I've even noticed that I'm recuperating faster than before. But I am guilty. I know I'm guilty. Therefore I worship her every atom. I owe my life to her, and that's why I see her now in everything around me. Every breath of air that I breathe because she wanted me to. I wish it had struck me earlier. The dog should have been enough. That poor dog. It's been snowing this morning. Snow in May. Can you imagine? I drove through it. Never seen anything like it in my life. They predicted a warm summer because the winter's been so mild this year. It was just sleet, a few flakes, but still. Snow is snow. Incredible. I saw it. The nurse opened the curtains for us. They spoil you here. It's a nice hospital. By the way, they have their own post office in here. Did you know that? I love buildings like these. Hospitals, airports, they have everything here. 24 hours a day, like a small town. Like a big retirement home. It's the same with cruise ships and cafeterias, the shops, the offices, and it's always spotless in the aisles. I can just imagine us heading that way as a society. I mean, just look around you. Everything's white, squeaky clean. You see that? When you press a button, a rubber glove comes out. I need one of those at home. I mean, everything's changing. Spring snow, male nurses. I think we'll end up living in dome cities in the future. You're scared. In Dubai, they're very far ahead of us, you know that? Their shopping centers flow into apartment complexes, which are connected to the schools and offices. Everything protected them from the scorching sun goes above 40 degrees Celsius all the time over there. You're afraid of the dark? Yes, a long silence. I was afraid. I was the first one here. Do you know that? Right that day. They said it would take a while. That it would be a long time before you'd wake up. I've been scared. You went too far. Went terribly. He has a gray-brown ring beard, hamster cheeks, and a light blue shirt. As he hugs me, I smell something. His body odor, a combination of vinegar and ash. And I could have recognized that smell. I don't mean that I actually recognized it, just that I could have. And that notion that a scent could evoke a heartwarming memory, that idea alone makes me very small. I've been worried about you. You wrecked everything. But maybe try a new major, somewhere else in September. If you're better by then, don't give up. You get the best help you could wish for. The university is the same, by the way, with its cafeterias around the campus. Those were the days. In 100 years' time, we'll be living in domed cities. Just take my word for it. And not only that, we'll live anywhere you can imagine. On Mars, on the North Pole, on the moon, at the bottom of the sea. But we already live on the bottom, below ground, on mountaintops of the sea. Took 7 hours, boys, but I beat it. The Raintime incorporates either in whole or part works of the art that have been made available by their creators under the sea. Yep, okay. Wow. Okay, that was. I might wait till the credits are over. Hold on. I will. I will make the audio go away a little bit. Here we go. We'll lower that. There we go. That should be better for you guys. Wow, that was a really good game. That was a lot of fun. Like I haven't had that much like just fun like sitting down and playing a game in a long while. I think the last time I had that much fun was Borderlands 2 probably. So like what, 2012? Or was that like 2015? I don't even know. But yeah, wow. Okay, so I'm honestly kind of surprised that I didn't die then. I was kind of expecting to, but I just... Huh. Edward Neiman. Hinterheim. Dang, I didn't realize how much music was in here. Shout out to the guys who did music for this. Wow, oh my gosh. There's more guys who did music than the guys who actually made the game. Wow, okay, yeah. Well, this is unfortunate. I was expecting to be, like, recording for, like, 2 hours. It's been 28 minutes. Okay, well, I guess that's... Oh, nope, there's more. They gave credits to the sounds. Flock of Seagulls. Isn't it a band? True Video Game Punch, Gaming Arcade Loop. Dude, honestly, I'm not... The Raintime and all game assets that have not been released under a copyrighted license are copyright 2020 by S.O.C.A.H, sorry. I asked them how you said the name. It's S.O.C.A. S.O.C.A.org. Go check it out, guys. Okay. So, S.O.C.A. If you guys are watching this, next game you guys make, I'd love to play. Press any key to continue. Is there more? Hold on. Part 1, Part 2, Part 3. Nope, that was it. That was the end. Okay. Well, I will say, make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe button. Leave a comment down below for the next story-driven game you think that I should play on the channel. Yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and I will see all of you guys in the next video. Peace.